Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
I just had to come and hit you with it. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah. Well,
I guess that makes you cool.
It still does it for me. Is it just me? I beat it.
No, I think they like it too.
I'm waiting
I
for
think
some
they
more.
do.
I guess so. Hey, welcome back. It's another season 2, as we like to call it.
Wow.
Yes, it's been the whole nother season.
Yes.
Marked Up Show. Mark Edwards back with you. KV back with you. Today's special guest. Give it up. Officer Tommy Norman.
Thank you for having me.
He deserves a better one. You didn't do it right. No.
Well, you do.
You have to say.
Okay, well, you do.
You shortchanged
So
me.
here we are. We are at season 2 for the Marked Up Show. And today, to kick off the season, we have
a lot of
the
emphasis.
one, the only, the world-renowned man with the plan and helper and of them all. It is the one, again, the only, Officer Tommy. Oh, you want me to quit holding it? Norman.
How long you gonna hold it? I don't know how long you was gonna
I
hold
can't
it.
play a saxophone anymore like in junior high, so I can't even hold it. I ain't even gonna try it. Nah.
It's all good. Officer Norman, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you for
Appreciate
having me.
coming on.
Welcome.
Big
And,
honor. We've been waiting on this day.
Oh yeah, we've been waiting on it. It took a little scheduling thing, but
Right.
we worked our way around it. So tell us about you, because for those people who don't know, which if you don't know, you probably
You should.
under a rock.
Yeah. Somewhere.
Don't know about you.
Tommy Norman, born and raised in North Little Rock, Arkansas. Family of 9, 6 sisters, 2 brothers. I'm a twin, actually.
I did not know that.
Did you
I
not
am
know that?
4 minutes older than my twin, so technically she's the youngest.
Right. Right.
Just really have lived a life of giving, public service, putting other people first.
So you with a twin now? Are you guys fraternal or
Fraternal.
okay? So it's not like, she's sick and you go, man, stomach hurts.
Right. I
Now,
feel it. I
it
feel
used to be that
something.
way. When we were
Okay.
younger,
Really?
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
My stomach hurt. Her stomach hurt.
Yeah.
If she was sad, I was sad. It was pretty cool how that worked out. I didn't kind of believe it worked that way, but it did. So
Nice.
Man, I always wanted a twin. That would have been neat. KV.
I don't know if it could be 2 of you. I don't think the world could handle that at all.
I think the world would be a perfect place with
it
two
would
of
be
us.
probably an ice cold place.
Definitely would be ice cold. Now, Officer Norman, now so you keep up with you on social media. You are like,
Everywhere.
I think you're at 1 million followers. Is that where
A
you
million?
are? Are you at 1 million followers?
that's what it says. Anyway.
Come on now. Come on. Yeah, I mean, an
got
officer
to
with
fact check.
an officer with 1 million followers. That's
He's
a
been
lot of
everywhere.
followers.
I mean, he's been everywhere.
So do you keep up with the people that you know or people that reach out to you? Because I know
I try.
I
just
Now with my injury, I have more time, but
Right.
I try to respond to every message, and it's pretty neat because sometimes when I respond, people are like, "Oh my gosh, is this
responds.
really
Is this
Officer
really
Norman?"
you?
Sometimes
Yeah.
I'll snap a selfie. It's me,
Yeah.
and it even blows them away even more. So.
I was gonna say I just looked it up. It's 1.5.
Wow.
1.5. Yeah, that's on Facebook.
Nice.
Instagram
Nice.
is 1 million, which it's an honor to have people not just here but all across the world to follow a man who just wants to give, and it costs no money at all.
right.
You put that effort out there with your heart, and you can really impact people.
Here's what people don't understand, because I had some celebrity friends of mine reach out and say, "Man, that Officer Norman, gosh, he's doing all this. Why did all this?" I was like, "Listen, I was there back in the '90s
Hey.
when it was cold on Christmas, and we would drive around and take gifts out of the trunk
Nice.
for when I was on the radio and hand them out then, and there was no social media." So he's been doing it.
You were the social media.
Right. And that's been annually, right? Ever
Yes,
since then.
yes.
You still do that
Always
for
on
Christmas?
Christmas.
This is probably would have been the 21st year. We had to scale it back a little bit because of my knee injury, but that, and we can discuss that later, but that's commitment and
Yeah.
keeping your promise.
Yeah.
So 20, 21 years,
Yeah.
you come back every year and you built that much trust.
And they look for that. The neighborhoods look like,
Yeah.
look for that. Even if by following your social media, kind of going back to that, like you have been with kids since they were
Man.
babies.
Now they're
Up to
graduating
now.
high school. They're in
Yeah.
college. They have families. They're productive members of society. And just to say that you played even a small role in that is very fulfilling.
Pretty big. So you had the surgery. Now, what kind of surgery? Was it ACL?
ACL meniscus.
Man, you had everything.
Right.
How did that happen?
I don't know the real. I don't think I even told you the real story. I don't know if I did. It was.
I've heard variations, and when I heard, I'm like, well, what was he doing? What happened?
Was he chasing a
yeah, I'm
bank
like, was he
robber?
chasing somebody?
All I
what
know,
happened?
all I know is when I saw it, I called him and I said,
Wow.
"Man, I wonder why he's not answering the phone." I said, "You know what? I'm just gonna leave him a message because I bet he's inundated with phone calls." So I
Right.
just left a message.
It was a kickball game, but I was refereeing a kickball game. Wasn't even playing, which makes it
Wow.
even more of a freak accident.
Yeah.
So,
Man,
anyway, you know, it is what it is, and I'm recovering now. Have about 4.5 more months of recovery before hopefully I'm back to full strength.
So how is that? Because you are used to having a busy schedule. I mean, you've been
Yeah.
all around the world. I even saw you on social media. What was that? Somebody's wedding. I was like, is that Officer Norman with Monica? Oh, okay. But you've been so busy, and you even when you're on the job, you know, you're handling business. We always see you on the clock. What is it like for you right now to basically have to be still?
all the time.
You got to be still.
It was a struggle emotionally, really more than physically. When you've been giving since you were a teenager, and then over 30 years later, boom, it comes to a stop. That's something you don't want to accept right away.
Right.
But I had to, because when God sits you down, you don't question that. And so, but you can't keep a good man down either. I'm here with a knee brace on, and I've been out and peg legging it, but I'm doing it.
Limping ain't easy. That's all right.
Limping ain't easy. I like that.
Here's the hard thing. Like, okay, so you got one of the things I follow on Insta video. Is that what they call it? Insta video?
Instagram TV.
Instagram TV.
Yeah.
So one of the things is the Breakfast Club. Now, how long have you known these guys? Because ever since I've known you, you've known about. So I don't know how long that is. But when did this relationship start?
It started. So when I became a police officer, I spent a lot more time in neighborhoods and communities that I was assigned to.
Right.
So I would see people that maybe were in wheelchairs, people that couldn't talk,
Right.
people that couldn't hear, people that I feel like society forgets about because it's easy to do.
Right.
And so I would just always be gravitated to those type of individuals. And so I just kind of labeled, we have 2 adults that are married, they're deaf. And then we have Davey, who was born with meningitis. He's an adult male, and he can't speak, he can hear. And we have Jerome, who's autistic. So we're the Breakfast Club.
Right.
Nice.
And it's pretty cool because people from across the world will send in gift cards to Cracker Barrel to keep that Breakfast Club tradition going.
Right.
Now, these are people that won't ever meet the Breakfast Club.
Right.
They'll see them on social media, so they feel like they're connected to them.
Well, because usually that's how television works.
Right.
You
Right.
see people. I mean, when I was on TV locally, that's what we did. People felt like they knew who you were.
Yep.
And let me tell you, a trip to Cracker Barrel for us is something that is so highly anticipated that they're waiting at their windows,
Looking.
opening up the
Waiting,
curtains to see if
yeah.
I'm there. Or they're on their front porch. And you can watch this on social media. Same thing with the All-Star crew, and I'll share my story about them. But they will run to my vehicle. I mean, sprint to get there, to go to Cracker Barrel, or to go eat, to spend time together. And it's very inspiring.
What are you guys doing there when you're at the Cracker Barrel?
Well, we it's pretty cool because with Davey, he can't talk. Obviously, Jesse and Ronika, they don't talk. So it's pretty peaceful and quiet. So we're there, and we're just communicating either through sign language or writing on paper. We order our food, we eat, but the big picture is just spending time together.
Right.
So I'm next to you. Mark, you're next to me. When we leave there and go back home, those are more memories that we form.
Yeah.
And I like that because especially with so much that goes on in media period right now and what the news portrays just about officers and that stigma, it's like, no, you really have some good ones that are out here and making a difference in the community.
Right. So many officers, a lot of officers don't have social media. I can tell you that there's over 99% of police officers out there that are doing great every single day, not just here in Central Arkansas, but all across the world. I know that because they've reached out to me. We've shared stories. I've traveled to numerous cities and met with police officers, spoke to police departments, and kind of shared stories of what we're doing.
See, because here's the thing for me, for police officers, they've always felt, and I'll share a story with you. I was working at Channel 11. They asked me to do something with a police officer, and I chose not to do it.
Really?
Yeah, so I didn't. This was early on in my career. Way back in my career. I didn't want to do it. I just felt like I didn't want to have that. Like there was no, why am I with you? Like who are you? And police officers were standing on the corner and they were trying to catch people doing things, and I felt like I didn't want to be a part of whatever it is you're trying to do. That in that way, and later on it became more of a good thing. And then I guess since police officers now show that their humanity, in Gainesville when the cops showed up, when the kids were shooting basketball, and he started shooting. See, like that stuff that wasn't happening before then. So cops seem to feel like they're normal
was happening,
people. It was happening,
just
and people
didn't
didn't know
know
it.
it, right.
Yeah. So the fact that you can see a cop do normal things, kids get amazed by that. People get amazed by that because normally they're there. When they're there, it's not a good thing.
That police officer you talk about is Bobby White. He actually sent a basketball goal to North Little Rock.
Wow.
He had Shaquille O'Neal come back out to that same street and shoot baskets with the kids. That was largely in part, obviously, of his efforts, but social media.
Yeah.
So who is Lois, and why is Lois always upset and mad? And that's I don't get Lois.
So let me tell you the Lois story.
She is mad all
probably
the
about
time.
5 years ago, I go into a center, a senior citizens center that I visit, and I go in. She's sitting at a table like this. She didn't want anybody sitting with her, so the chairs at the table she would push out where nobody could sit there. And so anyway, she was playing her crossword puzzle book. I sit down next to her and I say, "Hey, my name's Officer Norman. How's it going? You having a good day? Tell me about yourself." She would never talk. She would just do this and this. So after about 5 minutes, no communication from Lois, I give her my business card. If I can do anything, let me know. It gets better. I come back 2 weeks later. I walk in the door of this senior citizen center. People pat me on my back, shaking my hand. "Officer Norman, we're so happy for you. This couldn't have happened to a better guy." What are you talking about?
Right.
Lois
what do you
says
mean?
y'all are dating each other now.
Wow.
She never spoke a word.
Wow.
I gave her my business card.
Yeah.
And
So you
all
didn't
because
say
of that,
what's the digit. You said here's my digit.
Here's the
See,
digits.
that's what did it.
That's what
Lois
did it.
was ready to go.
So ever since then, Lois and I have had kind of a love-hate relationship.
Because sometimes you'll say, now sit down here now and open what somebody sent you.
Do you want to know who her biggest fan is?
Who?
Monica.
Really?
Monica loves
Wow.
Lois. When Monica came in the concert here, if she would have had the time, she wanted to meet Lois. But she was really booked up. And Lois calls me Tony, but my name is Tommy.
I don't get that either.
Oh, okay.
Have you not heard that?
I did, but
It's
I
always
was like,
Tony.
what?
Stop. Look, Tony.
Yeah.
Right, and we don't know who Tony is, so I just answered the Tony. I was at Walmart 2 weeks ago, and this lady yells, "Tony!" I turn around. She was talking to her husband.
Wow.
I'm answering the Tony now, thanks to Lois.
You
So,
gotta stop
but people
that,
love Lois. People, they really do. So,
I can't believe you haven't seen Tony. I mean, Lois.
No, I haven't. I haven't. Seen
you gotta.
No,
I think you just
am.
followed me.
I
You gotta
did.
catch up now.
I just
Yeah,
followed
you
you.
gotta catch
So,
up. You gotta catch up. So there's so
I
many.
will.
There's so many others that people see and don't know the story behind. And so one of the things I wanted to talk about today was how these people came about. So people that don't know, across everybody that's watching or listening, will know where these people came from. Like, there's I can't even think of everybody's name.
It's not that where they came from. They were already here,
right.
but nobody was
Right.
paying attention to them.
right.
Nobody was paying attention to them. So basically, it just took, and it still takes, grassroots effort to get out. Just get out of your. You don't have to be a police officer to make a difference.
Brent,
You
Brent
can
was
be a
asking
mail
me to,
carrier. You can be throwing a newspaper. You could work for Bite Squad, whoever. You always have a way to form a relationship with someone.
Right.
You
I was
it
going to
doesn't
say,
matter
Brent
what-
asked me to pull up Lois.
Okay.
Oh,
Lois,
okay.
yeah.
We're gonna look- that's
No, this is Jerome and the All Star crew at
Because they get
at KFC.
Okay.
But if you could probably
Man,
could find
Lois
the
is
Lois,
way
Lois-
down.
Yeah, Lois is down there. That's the All Star crew getting their hair cut. Keep going.
Okay.
Because Lois is, you'll know Lois when you see Lois.
Right, Lois.
She'll probably be frowning somewhere.
There's Miss Emma. That's us passing out jackets.
does.
That little Uzi verse sent in. There's Mr. George, 100 years old.
Miracle is
There's
my favorite.
Davey. Yeah, Miracles. There's Erica, and Lois is in the mix here somewhere. There's Miss Carol. Hold on one second. Let's
Go
see. Now
back.
keep going down.
Okay.
And you'll find, and Lois is.
She
like I
never
said,
wants to smile. She never looks at the camera. She's
You're very, you can tell you're super active just looking at all this.
yeah. See, here's the thing. I don't post a lot, and they keep telling me I should post a lot.
You have to.
You have to post a lot, but the people who post a lot
There's
drive me crazy.
Now there's Lois there, and
Right here?
no, right there. I'm holding up the peace sign.
Right there.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
that's her.
Yeah.
We're just
There
out
we go.
hanging out.
Yeah, that's
and,
Lois.
What's up?
Yeah,
She's always
There's Lois. and there's plenty of videos with Lois too. But as long as she's with her Tony, she's happy.
That's all right.
Anyway, I just wanted you were talking about her, so I was trying to. I thought I
Yeah,
had her.
so
I'm
it's
sorry.
Crossword puzzles are her thing. She's
word
always
search, crossword
search.
puzzles. As long as she's doing that, she likes watching her westerns. But that just goes to show, here's a woman
Yeah.
that, I guess, her choice. She doesn't have a lot of friends because she doesn't really have much of a personality. But I came in, I could have passed that table up. I didn't have to sit down
Right.
and talk to her. So if you see someone, maybe, and I talked to a group of high school students a few weeks ago. You're in the lunchroom and you see someone sitting by themselves.
Yeah.
Sit down next to them and talk to them. You may
Never know-
change.
You never know what's going on in their world.
Not even,
Very true.
you're right, not even could you change their day, you could change their life.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the person, you're the person that, okay, someone cares about me. You never know.
And it's needed.
It is. It really is. And I think the main thing that I saw, and this was a few years back, and I was like, whoa, that's Officer Norman. But like you said, you're highlighting what happens every day. It's like, this is nothing new. I'm just me. I'm who I am, and I'm just trying to make a difference. But when on social media, and I was like, LA Confidential has shared Officer Norman. And for his, his son to say,
Harlem.
I want to help him out. He's doing things for kids and other people that normally wouldn't be. That's even changing the minds of those kids that you would think that are privileged, if you will, but they're still learning that kind of humane thing and giving back. All right here from Officer Norman. I love it.
Everywhere.
That
Yeah,
story
everywhere.
was, I love telling that story. It was really at the height of police officers and communities and mistrust.
Yeah.
Coming off the Ferguson incident and other incidents, and the way the game, his agent explained it to me. Harlem was discouraged. Harlem was his teenage son. He's watching TV, social media, and he asked his dad, "Can we find a positive police story?" And they Google, they find me and us, and so his agent reaches out to me, and I remember first I didn't answer because I was receiving so many messages. So she reached out to, at the time, my girlfriend Rosin, who's now my wife, and Rosin said, "Hey, you need to reach out to this lady. She's connected to the game, and the game wants to start a GoFund because he wants you to continue what you're doing." All because his son Harlem, and it's such a cool
Wow.
story. We went to the Grammys about 3 years ago. That was another really cool story.
Yeah, I remember
two,
you going.
two kids in the
Yeah,
neighborhood
went with
were
you.
invited,
Yeah.
and we were driven to Beverly Hills where we met the game at a sushi bar. It was about a 2-minute visit.
2 minutes.
Obviously, he didn't, he was really nice. He was there with a friend of his,
Oh, well,
but
yeah.
but it was really
Yeah.
cool. It was an honor to meet him. The guy that in the past, some of his lyrics have been anti-police,
right.
but he raised because of his efforts over $72,000.
Wow.
All because his son wanted some hope.
So let's go back to that. Colin Kaepernick takes a knee. We get the whole police officers versus people. That's where all the protests coming in, and all of a sudden it just seemed like you said this a minute ago. It just seemed like every piece of video dropping on viral video after that was some cop shooting somebody. You're a cop. Take me through because cops are brave. Me, I'd have rubber bullets and I'd be shooting for speeding. I just start shooting at the car. Get out the car, throw your wallet out the car. Because I couldn't.
Yeah.
I don't have that patience. But if all that's going on, at what point when you go to work do you go, man? Whew, there's so much heat between people and cops right now.
But there wouldn't be a lot of heat between people and cops if more police officers get out and get to know people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you're sent to a gas station where someone's selling items in front of the gas station to support their family, there's a good chance you may know that person and you may know that person's story because you've been taking the time to get out of your car and get to know people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Police officers shouldn't be strangers to everyone, and everyone shouldn't be a stranger to police officers. It also goes back to somewhat, I think, the public as well to engage with officers and get to know them. But I'm telling you, I may stop 10 cars. 7 or 8 of those, I'm probably going to know the people because I've kind of gotten out in the community and I've got to know people. Now, that's not going to resolve every situation, every encounter, right? It's not going to, but it's going to help the chances to diffuse a lot of situations because of your reputation and the way you treated people in the past.
And you know what else helps? Because as parents, I used to tell my kids when they were younger, if you don't stop, we'll take you to the police. That was like a bad thing.
I did that.
Yeah, see,
I actually
everybody
had
does that,
a
right?
good friend of mine come and arrest mine at the school. I did that.
I would say that most police officers, and not all, they don't like for people to tell their kids that because then you have
that's my
right.
point.
That's your
Create
point.
that.
Right?
Bad
They're
thing
scared
to
of
do.
police officers,
stigma.
right?
Create
Right.
that
They're gonna come get me
by
within
saying
that
that.
kid's
Yeah.
mind.
When they
Right.
see us coming, they're running away.
Yeah, that's not good. That's a thing you shouldn't do. But
Right.
So you've actually become that person, that ambassador to making sure police officers. And I noticed you go to different parts. I've seen you in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Do they call you and say, "Come down here, talk to us, tell us what we can do"?
They do.
How does that work?
Nice.
They do. I've been to St. Louis, I've been
Saw
to
them.
Ferguson, I've been to Charlotte, Los Angeles County, Long Beach, California, and I'm leaving a lot of places out because obviously it's hard to remember.
Yeah.
But what's really cool at some point is that people forget that I'm a police officer. The other day, a lady messaged me. She's like, "Are you still an officer?" I said, "Well, as a matter of fact, I am." But the reason I say that, and I had a really great conversation with Willie Davis, a Little Rock police sergeant.
My dude.
Yeah. Okay. Program.
Love
Dude.
Willie Davis.
Yeah.
But people sometimes, we talked about when people forget you're an officer, that's not a bad thing because guess what? They're identifying you more by your heart than your badge.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to me, that's really powerful.
That's
Pretty good.
I always say that since you brought up Willie Davis, even when I was in junior high, he was a father figure to me, and I let him know that in later years. I'm like, did you realize, like, you were the epitome of a dad to me. He always helped us out, always talked to us, was a positive influence, and I didn't have that because I came from a single-parent household. So just to have that, like you say, you guys are out here just making those differences every single day. And then it's cool because you remember, Mark, back in the days of Juneteenth, we would have officers there with us, but on the side, we would be over there doing the motorcycle and doing some other things way before all these nice viral videos came out with officers dancing with kids. We had it right here at Juneteenth. We used to have the best times with the officers on the side.
Like police officers send video, like they have viral videos.
Yes.
There was a North Carolina police company. I don't know who they were. I know they were in Greenville or someplace like that.
Oh, so many of them.
They made a video of them of this dance that they did. And I thought, man, where have I been? When did they start doing that?
But times are changing again because they forget. Like I said, we're people too.
I
We
didn't
have
even realize
hearts
they were
too.
police officers until the end of the video. I started going, man, I think these are cops. I wonder are they real cops?
Are just dressed up.
Just
in
dressed
uniforms,
up.
right.
Do you interact with any other police officer content creators just out on the internet?
I do.
Figured so.
There's Anthony, I want to say his last name, Johnson from Columbus, Ohio. His Instagram is no, it's the Popo.
That's good.
There's a lot of great
good.
ones,
Yeah.
and I'm going to leave them out. But there are a lot of police officers, and other Darren Derby from up in Massachusetts, Jason Lehman, Long Beach, California, Phil Blaylock here locally in Morrilton. He did the cop car karaoke.
Oh, cool.
He received national
Man.
attention
Yeah.
because of that.
Yeah.
And there's so many more. There's countless number of officers, and some of them we haven't met, but we message each other and check on each other and kind of share what we're doing and share stories and inspire each other.
I think
cool.
the weird, like I said, the thing about seeing those viral videos and cops doing normal things, you become normal. So the fear goes away. When I see you now, I go, hey, you the cop that was.
Doing something.
you know,
Yeah.
Did you have any fear when you first started like putting your videos out of
Fear of
People
what
saying
are people going to
People,
say?
yeah.
I
What
didn't because
how's this
I
going to be
didn't
received?
because when I first started putting videos out, that was before you saw all the officers throwing the football or shooting baskets with kids or dancing
Yeah,
with kids. This was before that.
Yeah.
When'd
so
you
those
start?
videos probably maybe in 2010.
Okay.
So it was before things got kind of heated and people started videos started becoming viral. I've said this my entire career that the goal of police officers, police departments is that when you turn down a city street, that kids run to your police car and they don't run from it.
Yeah.
And
That's
if
a good
you
thing.
can accomplish that, and when you turn that corner, they're running to your car, literally surrounding your car, and sometimes it's felt like they've rocked my police car. There's so many of them there. They want you to get
Yeah.
out and hang out with them.
Yeah.
You've made a difference. But I will say this, it's not going to happen overnight.
Right.
You can go to a neighborhood, but if you're not genuine, and if your efforts don't come from the heart, people are they're gonna peep that out. Whether it's a kid, whether it's an adult, whether it's a senior citizen, if you're not real with people, and if you don't prove to them that you're not really there looking for something or to gather information, you're there because you care. You want to know how's work, how's school, how was that birthday party? Yeah. Let me see the newborn baby. That's the type of police officer you need to be.
I see that you don't show enough Miracle. I need to see more. Right.
Miracle moved out. I need to go see her.
Miracle always looks like, why are y'all bothering me? Every time the video, she's always like, why are y'all bothering me?
But we brought up so many names. That's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so many more people out there, and people are just. A lady the other day called me from Chicago, and she left a voicemail, and she was crying. A police officer 2 days ago from LAPD left me a message. She wants to send some things in. She actually wants to travel here with a couple of other police officers from Los Angeles. And she got choked up. People are so taken back by, in the midst of so much hatred in the world today, people are so taken back, and it really tugs at their heart to where they become emotional through what they're seeing here in Central Arkansas through social media. And it's such a privilege to be a part of.
Yeah, man, it's good to see it. So what does the future look like? What are you going to do down the road?
Once I'm healed and I can really get back out there. Now I don't have the energy I used to have.
You said like when
I
heal, I'm gonna get back out there on the court and start letting these buckets fly.
No, for me, nothing's gonna change. I'll tell people, and a lot of people ask that question: is I want my last breath on this earth to be giving. Yeah. I mean, it's nothing. It's not rocket science for me. It's just if I can't give, then I'm not going to be Tommy Norman. It runs through my DNA. Yeah. I'm just not going to be the person that people are used to seeing. I can wake up one day and maybe not feel the best, but once I think about it, someone out there needs me more than I need myself. Yeah. So, and I have developed so many contacts and connections with people that there's not a shortage of giving. I mean, I can go visit someone right now that is going to make my day, is going to make their day. And so it's really an honor to be able to form all those relationships.
Yeah, that's something you don't get a chance to do a lot of. I guess TV guys, we travel so much that we don't get a chance to get in the community, which is why I like the podcast now. So, for this year we're going to start. I want us to do more shows with, people who mental health and talk to mental health experts and that type of thing. Helping people is pretty
I want to say this, that an interview I did probably 3 or 4 years ago, someone asked me, is there a Tommy Norman way of policing? My response was, the two biggest components are relationships and commitment. So if you live in the neighborhood that I patrol in, you're on your front porch, you're mowing your grass, I get out and I speak to you, hey, I'm Tommy Norman, you're Mark, I formed a relationship, but I need to come back the next day or even call you or check on you. So it's relationships and commitment. So you form those relationships, you follow that with commitment, and when people see that you're real, it can really change the community one block at a time.
And I'm probably the only person on earth who has a Tommy Norman bobblehead.
What? How did that come about?
You still have it.
I still have. He came up to the TV station.
Oh wow.
And I still have it. Still, every like one of the things I collected throughout all the years doing sports, especially in Arkansas, one of the things I collected, I have Reese's Pieces that Houston Nutt's brother gave me. He was coaching ASU's basketball team. I mean, every coach would give me something. I go, I don't eat Reese's Pieces. Why are you give? Oh, you want it? You can have it. Okay, and I just put it in a box. So I got like a box of just gifts that coaches have given me.
Nice.
I've got to tell my Mark Edwards story. It was a game at Ole Miss.
Oh yeah.
Me and two of my really good friends, Ronnie and Earl, it was after the game, and I'm tapping my friend Ronnie on the shoulder. He's like, "What?" I was like, "That's Mark Edwards." And I actually got over to say hi to
Mark,
you.
You were famous that day, huh?
I was that day.
I got over to say hi to him. It was really,
nice.
It's kind of like Trey Day from
Yes,
Power 92 Radio.
yes.
I tell Trey,
Oh wow.
That's it.
It's on my Facebook page.
Yeah.
It's my Instagram page.
Pull it up to the camera over here.
It's on my Instagram page.
Other way.
Yeah.
It's on my Instagram page. See that?
Yeah, we can kind of see it.
So
Anyway.
I'm like, man, that's Mark. So I weave my way through because that's when all the players are coming out, walking to the bus, I guess.
Right.
And you were trying to get some interviews, and you took the time to stop and talk to me. And that's what I've been talking about this entire podcast. You take the time and talk to, and it's crazy because there's probably a lot of people you don't know you impact the same with you, the same with me. So you never know who's watching. I'm a big sports fan. I watch the news every day. So I've been watching you, and finally I meet you in person. You were as nice as you could be. So just, it's something that had an impact on me. So
Why you look at me
now
like,
we're here.
see, I'm nice.
Because
You should start being nice.
See, here's what
Wow.
she be mean to me. Everybody don't know that.
Somebody got to keep you in line. That's all I'm saying. That's all.
Officer Norman, man, we appreciate
Well,
it today.
wait.
thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hang on.
here
I'm
come-
not done.
Here come the
Okay,
tough
okay.
See,
questions.
y'all been talking about,
Here come
all
the
the
tough
little
questions.
nice stuff, your little
Okay.
memories and carrying on.
All right.
Hey, can I show this video?
Yeah,
we
go
said
ahead, go
we said
ahead.
we were gonna play this
What is
for
this?
This
for
is
sure.
really powerful.
Let me make sure I'm sharing my screen first. Sorry.
It's a tearjerker.
All right,
This one
yeah.
is?
So I haven't
Yes.
seen this yet. It's 4 minutes. Y'all want to watch the whole thing, or you might be able to
Let's
get the
see, hold
point.
on.
Let me see about 2 minutes of
So I saw
Yeah.
which apartment they went in.
We got full screen.
Knocked on the door, and the mom came to the door and she asked me what was wrong, and I just told her I was concerned because the kids ran from me. They hadn't done anything wrong, but they ran from me, and I didn't want that. I asked them, why they ran. They said they were scared of police. They'd always been taught to be scared of police.
Norman! I miss you so much. How you doing?
And not everyone is going to trust police officers, but if you become more than an officer, if you attend a birthday party, you make visits to hospitals, you go to weddings and graduations, that's trust that can't be, and those are barriers that just can't be broken. That's trust that's there to stay.
What's up? How y'all doing? What's going on? It's nice
A couple of
outside.
videos and pictures I posted of some fun, silly time with some kids in the community. Me, slipping and slide with kids in uniform, or water balloon fight, or playing basketball, throwing a football. That came at a time when there was a really high level of mistrust between police and community members.
I was gonna say this isn't my content, so I don't want to just keep. I don't want to play the whole thing. We might get a
Right.
copyright strike,
Right.
but you can maybe just
Check it
talk
out.
on it and
I thought
you
I'd
know.
see Miracle in there.
You probably would have. You just saw about a minute of that, and that's what I just got through talking about, and it's something that's really never going to change because you've got to get out there as I'll say as a police officer. That badge is a symbol, but your heart is a staple. Right. And I've told people this: as a police officer, your badge should have a heartbeat and not an ego.
Boy.
Nice.
I was gonna say I like
That'll
what you,
preach.
Yeah.
I like what you said about when you're in the neighborhood, people should run to you, not from you.
Mm-hmm.
And Brent, my buddy over here, was telling me about community policing. I just pulled this up. The definition, it says system of allocating police officers to particular areas so that they become familiar with the local inhabitants. It seems like that's kind of what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just kind of curious. I mean, is that it seems like that's what you've done, community policing. It seems like it meets that definition. Is that what you're going for? Is that what you're trained for? Like, what is really the goal for this thing?
You can. Well, I've been doing this since I was a teenager, right? It just so happened that I didn't instill giving and love into the badge. I felt like that I instilled love and giving, or the badge didn't instill love and giving to me. I instilled love and giving into the badge. And so, I've always been a giver. And when I got hired as a police officer in '98, I just took off with it and ran with it. And some people were kind of doing double takes and, what's he doing? What's he doing why is this guy being nice to people? And it's so important. So community policing, I think, has been beaten to the ground. That phrase has been beaten to the ground so much that it's been used a lot, right? So you can say you're doing community policing, but are you actually out there doing community policing? Do you know these people? Do you know their stories? Do they trust you? Do you trust them? It took a long time, and there's still work to be done. I'm not done. I've still got a lot of energy left, and I still want to go out there and continue to change the world.
Okay, I know I forgot to say this, so I'm saying it now. The breakfast thing, where the kids are at the breakfast. What?
That's the Monday morning bus stop.
Yes,
bus
stop.
That didn't start with me. That started with a group of people, a group of ladies that heard rumors that there had been a fight at the bus stop. So they come out every Monday morning with music, with hot chocolate, with healthy food.
Just on Mondays?
Yeah, on Mondays.
Okay.
And so
Kickstart that week off.
send them off the right
Nice.
way the beginning of the week, and it's something that I was invited to, and other officers, and it's been really cool to see that. Yeah, the Monday morning bus stop. And I'll say this, probably 4 or 5 other communities across the United States have started a Monday morning bus stop because of ours.
Yeah.
Right. So
That's good.
That's cool.
Nice. All right, we're gonna play a little game. Like, we've gotten to know you, we've seen the video,
Okay.
but now we're really gonna get to know
Okay.
you. Okay. We've been talking a lot about giving and giving up things, so we're gonna play One Has Got to Go. One has got to go. So, Officer Norman, what has to go? Popeyes or Red Lobster?
oh man.
Definitely Red Lobster.
Well, I'll say this because I'm married now and I have someone else I have to answer to, and Rosalind would prefer crab legs and shrimp over Popeyes. So I've got to go with Popeyes. Now that's difficult.
Okay.
But
That chicken sandwich is a beast.
Yes.
Okay. All right. McDonald's or Burger King?
Burger King.
Wow. Okay. All right. We're going to take a step into Little Debbie land. Zebra cakes or oatmeal cream pies?
Oatmeal cream pie.
Oh, zebra cakes for sure. You can eat those.
I'll eat zebra cakes, but
Hey,
oatmeal cream pies is where it's
I
at.
just had to
I'm telling
ask.
you.
All right. So, sweet potato pie, apple pie, hold on, pecan or pumpkin? Which one has to go?
Man, I ain't never had pumpkin pie.
I just want to know.
I want to keep pecan. The rest of them can go.
The rest of them can
Sweet
go?
potato pie?
Right.
Seriously? Wow. Okay.
Man.
And then my last one.
Ugh.
Are you gonna do mac and cheese or those collard greens? Which one gotta go?
It's gotta be mac and cheese. I don't eat greens. I don't eat. I've
I'll
never.
cut,
Greens?
I'll cut out
Never
the
had
collard
greens.
greens. Mac and cheese.
Okay.
Greens look like wet grass to me. I can't get past the fact that it's wet grass.
How does that whole?
Well, like wet leaves.
Okay.
That's just.
I'm gonna
you
leave it
asked.
alone. I did
telling
ask. I did ask. I don't know why, but I did.
I've never.
That's what I got. Just wanted to see the kind
never
of things that you
I
like.
wanted to
That's
keep
all.
going. I wanted to keep going.
That chicken sandwich at Popeye. See, I don't do.
You couldn't do this?
There's a story that goes along with Red Lobster for me. I just can't. I can't do Red Lobster ever.
Really?
Never. If you see me in there, I'm in there to get somebody out of there because I'm going in there to get somebody and pick somebody up. I'm not a Red Lobster guy. So anybody that says, "Hey, we saw Mark Edwards at Red Lobster," you can tell them right now.
Not even for the cheddar
You
biscuit.
wanted Red Lobster.
Not
No.
even for the cheddar biscuit.
No. I'll tell you the story. I'll tell you the story later.
I don't even know. I'm just
When
looking
I
like
tell you the story,
there's no
you gonna
telling
be
where
like,
that's
"Oh,
going to
okay."
go
I
because
mean,
you always have a story for
I
something.
do. Speaking of, I got stopped by 2 cops in 10 minutes. 2 cops in 10 minutes.
Only you, Mark.
I was-
But you tell me I need to be nice.
I was driving, and so when I was driving, I noticed one of my headlights went out.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the killer thing about cops. So I'm driving. He pulls me over 2 minutes after I leave the gas station. Pulls me over and says, "You know you got a headlight missing?" I said, "Yeah, I just saw it at the gas station. Just went out. I got to get home." "Where you stay?" "About 10 minutes up the road." "Okay, all right, cool." So he calls everything in, checks everything. He comes back. He said, "All right, you good? Go ahead, take off." I get 2 miles down the road. Another cop pulls me over. He follows me on the access road. I'm looking at him on the access road. Soon as he could pull on the interstate, he pulls on the interstate, pulls me over, and he walks up and he says, "You know why I pulled you over?" I said, "Man, if you pull me over for this this light that's out of my car, I'm going to tell you right now, I got 2 more minutes to get to my house." The last cop said the same. He just died laughing. He called my stuff in. He said, "You know what? We've been checking on you. I'm going to make sure you get to the house without any other
I
cops."
know. Just follow me. Just follow me.
This is maddening. Yes, I know my light's out. So anyway,
That's all right.
that's what they do. All right, so if you pull me over and my tail light is out, you got to know that I got to start the car up and go somewhere else. I got to keep going till I get home. So
Right.
kept pulling me.
Right.
Anyway, Officer Norman, thanks for coming in today, brother. We appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you so much. I've known
Such
Officer Norman for a long time. When I started in radio,
Yes.
is when I met Officer
And
Norman.
it's pretty cool how we just
Yeah.
connected,
It's
reconnected.
been a
I
while.
was here, then I left, and I came back and was doing Power and K97 in Memphis, and so
I just know some good people right here. That's all
How
I
many
know.
years of
Yeah.
experience at this table?
Wow.
Public service,
quite a
radio,
Quite a
TV.
few. Yeah.
I've been
quite
doing
a few.
it. I've been doing it since.
Over 60 years, right?
Yeah, it's been a while. I've been doing over 20. I know myself. So Anyway, hey,
you taught
thanks.
me a few things, I guess.
Come on now. Come on. That's how you gonna do me?
Shrugs.
Well, we gonna do that today?
Y'all make sure you follow this guy. If you don't know him, we hope you got to know him, and make sure that you keep up with all of his great, efforts in the community as well. Follow Officer Norman.
Go Lois. We'll see you next week.
Marked up.